Hi, my name is Mario Biduso and we're here to do subtraction of large numbers. Similar to addition, uh, we need to expand the numbers to see how the subtraction takes place. For example number 1, 897 minus 246, we need to expand both numbers. 897 will become 800 plus 90 plus 7. 246 will become 200 plus 40 plus 6. So if we subtract, 7 minus 6 is 1, 90 minus 40 is 50, 800 minus 200 is 600. Sometimes the digit at the bottom is larger than the digit at the top. So if this happens, we must borrow from the next digit on the left. For example, 524 minus 372, we expand again. 500 plus 20 plus 4. 372 is 300 plus 70 plus 2. So if we subtract, 4 minus 2 is 2. But 20 minus 70, we cannot subtract. So 20 had to borrow from 500. So 500 becomes 400. And then 20 becomes 120. We can now subtract. 120 minus 70 is 50. And then 400 minus 300 is 100. So we can combine again. 100 plus 50 plus 2 is 152. Sometimes there is more than one number at the lower part that is larger than the upper part. So in this case, the upper number will have to be changed twice. For example, 364 minus 79. So we expand first. 364 is 300 plus 60 plus 4. 79. So we have to align 70 with the tens place. So here 70 plus 9. So 4 minus 9, we cannot subtract. So 4 had to borrow from 60. 60 will now become 50. And then 4 becomes 14. We can now subtract. 14 minus 9 is 5. And then 50 minus 70, we cannot subtract. So 50 has to borrow from 300. 300 now becomes 200. 50 now becomes 150. So 50 minus 70 is 80. And then 200 minus 0 is 200. And then we combine. 200 plus 80 plus 5 is 285. And sometimes the number to be borrowed from is 0. In this case, the 0 must first borrow from the left before the number from the right can borrow from it. For example, 502 minus 147. Let us first expand. 502 is 500 plus 0 plus 2. And then 147 is 100 plus 40 plus 7. So 2 minus 7 we cannot subtract. So 2 has to borrow from 0, but 0 has nothing to lend. So 0 must first borrow from 500. 500 now becomes 400, and then 0 becomes 100. Now 2 can now borrow from 100. So 100 now becomes 90, and then 2 becomes 12. And then 12 minus 7 is 5. 90 minus 40 is 50. And 400 minus 100 is 300. So if we expand this one, 300 plus 50 plus 5 is 350 and 5, 355. Sometimes there are more than one zero that had to borrow. So in that case, we have to keep borrowing from the left. So 5003 is equal to, if we expand, it becomes 5000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 3. And then 385, so we have to align 300 to the hundreds place value, so it will align to 300. And then 80 to the tens place, 80 plus 5. So 3 minus 5 we cannot subtract. So this one has to borrow from here, but this one has to borrow from here, and this one has to borrow from here. So first 5,000 now becomes 4,000, and this 0 becomes 1,000. Now this one can borrow from here now. 1,000 becomes 900, and then 0 becomes 100. Now 3 can now borrow from 100, so 100 now becomes 90, and then 3 now becomes 13. We can now subtract 13 minus 5 is 8. 90 minus 80 is 10. 900 minus 300 is 600. And 4,000 minus 0 is 4,000. So if we combine that, it will become 4,000, 4,618. 4,618. Now we can do a shortcut on all of this by removing the zeros and the plus. 0 and the plus. It will leave us only the digits. So for example, for number 1, we do it vertically, aligning the same place values. So 897 minus 246. So 7 minus 6 is 1. 9 minus 4 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6, which is the same as, if we combine this one is 651. So they are the same. So number 2, 524 minus 372. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 7 we cannot subtract, so 2 will borrow from 5. 5 now becomes 4. 2 now becomes 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. So this one is equal to this one. Number 3, 364 minus 79. 364 minus 79. So 4 minus 9 we cannot subtract, so 4 has to borrow from 6. 6 becomes 5, and 4 becomes 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 5 minus 7 we cannot subtract, so we have 5 has to borrow from 3. 3 now becomes 2. 5 now becomes 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. And 2 minus 0 is 2. So this is the same as this one. Number 4. So 502 minus 147. 502 minus 147. 2 minus 7 we cannot subtract, so 2 has to borrow from 0, but 0 first has to borrow from 5. So 5 becomes 4, 0 becomes 10. So 2 can now borrow from 10. 10 becomes 9, and 2 becomes 12. So 12 minus 7 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. So 355, same as this one. So number 5, 5003 minus 385. So we are aligning the same place value. So 300 would be aligning here, 80 would be aligning here, and 5 would be aligning here. So 3 minus 5 we cannot subtract. So 3 has to borrow from here, this one has to borrow from here, and this one has to borrow from here. So 5 becomes 4, so 0 becomes 10. Now this one can now borrow from here, so this one becomes 9. So 0 becomes 10. Now 3 can borrow from 10 now, so 10 becomes 9, and then 3 becomes 13. So 13 minus 5 is 8. And then 9 minus 8 is 1. 9 minus 3 is 6. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. So this one is same as that one. So that is how you subtract large numbers.